Factor investigation segment tonight. As we told you in the talking points memo, convicted child rapist and now accused mass murderer Joseph Duncan had people helping him, if you can believe it. The prosecutor in Becker County, Minnesota, Joe Evans, was not tough enough on Duncan. The judge, as we said, was a complete failure. And two men actually gave this sex criminal money so he could operate. Those men are Fargo, North Dakota real estate developer Joe Crary, who gave Duncan $15,000 to bail himself out. 15 grand. And Dr. Richard Waxman, a pediatrician who now lives in Port Richey, Florida, who also gave Duncan thousands of dollars. And joining us from Seattle is Anne Bremner, a former sex crimes prosecutor who's following this case. Something wrong here. Something really wrong with this whole deal. These two guys kicking over, one 15 grand, the other close to $7,000 to this, and they knew because on his website he had the most vile things imaginable about child molestation, so everybody knew who he was, registered sex offender. So to me, I can't on television, as you know, Counselor, make accusations I can't back up, but I got to say, there's stuff floating around here. It doesn't add up.
Well, where there's smoke, there's fire. Bill, there's something wrong with this picture, and what's wrong is what people weren't seeing in the picture with him. And we have complicity laws that if you're in for a dime, you're in for a dollar. If you help somebody, like a bank robbery, the getaway car driver is as guilty as a person that comes in with a gun and shoots a teller. So we got to take a look at things like this, because even one of the people that gave money to Duncan, he wanted to bring Duncan into his home, and the authorities said, we don't want around your kids. And that's a pretty scary proposition. Yeah. So I think this is
Dr. Waxman wanted to have this guy live with him or something. Well, look, both this real estate developer Crary and this Waxman guy, they got a lot of explaining to do, these two. Could you possibly charge them with anything?
Well, exactly. They're not talking, Bill, as you know, and the question is whether they knew about what he was blogging. The Armageddon that he predicted on his own blog that we saw when he came out to Idaho and killed an entire family and basically killed Shasta in the process, because her life from now on.
We want to throw the word alleged. We want to throw the word allegedly in front of that kill that you said.
I'm with you. Allegedly,
but
you're right.
He was found with the little girl. The little girl told police that he molested her brutally for weeks. We don't have any problem labeling this guy who he is, because he is a convicted sex offender. Now, to me, you don't travel 1,000 miles to molest a child. If he was going to do it, he skips out of Minnesota, he skips out of his bail, but why go to Idaho, and why this family, and then we find out the family's involved with methamphetamine. Again, it doesn't seem to be accidental.
Exactly, and it's not just, oh, I was just passing through, because remember, Bill, he also had night goggles, he had a hammer, he had a gun, and he watched this family for days. He had the whole specter of a ring comes to mind, alleged. I'll use that, and you were right for me to use it, or I should have used it in the first instance on these homicides. But there's something more here, and people listen to you, Bill. Everybody listens to you, and I think we need to look at cases like this. This is not the first time.
Yeah, I have to say that we have to be very, very careful, but there is a link between the drug world and selling children. We know that crackheads do that, meth heads do that. We know that there's an internet link with child pornographers all over the world. They all know who each other, they know who they are, all right? And there's a drug link into child pornography. So
that's absolutely right.
I think the authorities and the FBI particularly have got to get involved with this and got to figure out what happened. I'll give it the last word.
The only thing, Bill, you're absolutely right, and we have civil commitment laws all over the United States, including in Washington State, where he was. It was in effect when he was released here in Washington, and he was not committed. And I think he should have been. Well,
he should have gotten... Jessica's law should be on the books in Washington State, so he gets 25, and then Schrader should be just thrown off the bench because he's out. It's out of control.
I'm with you all the way, Bill.
And thanks very much. We appreciate it. When we come right back, the NAACP still pounding.